Okay, let's go over the review for the test. The starred problems are the most similar to the test. Those are the ones that you really want to focus on. In number 1, the graph is not going to be part of the test in EdSite at all. The only thing that's going to be part of the test is identifying the domain, the range, and the asymptote. And here's how EdSite will look. For the domain, there will just be a field that you need to fill in. For the range, it will say y and then a blank. And for the asymptote, y equals and then a blank. The domain is all real numbers, so you're just going to type in a capital R for domain. So I want you to note somewhere in your notes or on your review that capital R means all real numbers for the test. For the range has to do with the asymptote, and the asymptote comes from this plus 1. So your asymptote is y equals 1. Because it's a positive in front of this thing, we know that the graph has not flipped. So the range is going to be y is greater than the asymptote. And you will have to type in the greater than symbol and the 1. Okay, number 2, check the answer key if you want to look at number 2. It's extra practice, but it's not as similar to the test question. Number 3 is very similar to a test question. The asymptote comes from the plus 2. So again, EdSite will say y equals blank. You need to type in 2. Your domain, it will just have a blank. You type in capital R for all real numbers. For the range, it says y blank. So you need a symbol like greater than, less than, or equal, and then a number. Again, this is positive in front, so it's going to be y is greater than our asymptote of 2. If we had something like y equals negative 2 e to the x something plus 2, then the asymptote would still be 2, but the range would be y is less than 2 because that negative sign in front is going to flip that graph over and make it appear below the asymptote, which makes your range y is less than 2. Okay, tell whether the function represents exponential growth or decay. And 5, 6, and 7 are great practice, but 4 and 8 are the ones that are the most similar to the test. Remember with the e functions, if it's negative in the exponent, it is going to be exponential decay. If it's a positive in the exponent, it's going to be exponential growth. And that's going to be drop-down menus. So it'll show the function, and then it'll have like this function represents, and then there's a drop-down. You select exponential decay or exponential growth. 9, 10, and 11 are honestly not on the test. They're great practice. I think that you should try them out just to keep your skills sharp, but they're not on the test. On the back side, the population of 350 deer in a forest increases at an annual rate of 7%. Write an exponential function to model the situation after 10 years. In EdSite, it will say y equals, and then there'll be a field, a blank, where you type that function in. This is just simple growth, so we're going to use this simple growth formula, and the formulas are in there, but you also can use your notes and this piece of paper, so you should be good. Starting value, 350. 1 plus the rate is 7%, so that is 0.07 raised to the t. I kind of ran out of space there. Okay, I am going to make one quick little EdSite thing that basically is a practice for the domain, the range, the asymptote, and one of these, just so that you can practice how to type these correctly into EdSite. So be watching for that. I will assign that. It's going to be called, like, I think I'll call it Alg 2 for Algebra 2, and then it'll be Chapter 6A Short Review. So be looking for that in EdSite later today. There will be something so that you can practice. I know some of my students get a little anxious if they don't know exactly what to expect in EdSite, and they like to practice that. So I will make a short review in EdSite so you can practice entering things in these fields. Estimate the number of deer in the forest after 6 years to the nearest whole number, and it will be blank, and then it will have the label for you. So the good news is on this test, you can't lose points for labels because the labels are already going to be there for you. For this, you just plug it in, 350, 1 plus 0.07 raised to the 6 years. 525.25, it's rounding to the nearest whole deer, so 525 deer. We can't have 0.25 of a deer. That would be messy. You deposit $3,500 in an account that earns 2.5% annual interest. Find the balance after 1 year if the interest is compounded monthly. For your answer in EdSite, there will be a $sign and then a blank for you to enter your answer in. So you'll need to show your own work on paper. It's 3,500, 1 plus. The rate is 2.5, so that's 0.025. Compounded monthly means we divide by 12. 12 times, it says 1 year. I hate it when it says 1 year. That seems silly. So we type that in, 3,500, 1 plus 0.025 divided by 12. Close our parentheses, raised to the 12 times 1. Do not do any commas in your answer. Just type in 3588 point, and it says 0.509, so I'm going to round that to 51 cents. Okay, this next problem is one of the most commonly missed on the test. The population of any town can be modeled by blah, 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 where T is the number of years since 1990. Is the population of any town increasing or decreasing? This is an E function, so increasing happens when the exponent is positive. This is positive, so it is increasing. And that's going to be like a little multiple choice thing where you select increasing or decreasing. How fast is the population changing? By what percent? This did not print all the way on here. On your paper copy, this exponent right here, I'm going to just rewrite this. It's 10, 816, 591, E raised to the 0.0128t. That's the equation that was originally in there. The percent is this decimal right here. We need to change that decimal back to a percent. And in EdSite, there will be a field for you to type in, and it'll say percent after. So 0.0128, move that decimal 2 places, that is 1.28%. I think it's a slightly easier percentage on the actual test. It's not going to ask you what's the population in 1990, but I'm just showing you. They're basically saying, we want the starting population, that would be this number from the formula, but that part's not on the test. Estimate the population now. Now is 2021, and this model started in 1990. So if we do 2021 minus 1990, that is going to be 31 years. So we're using T equals 31. So plug 31 in there. Type that into your calculator. It will just have a field for you to type numbers in, and it's a smaller number on the test than it is on the review. So this one, I get 160.84903. So normally we would put commas in that. Don't put commas. So I'm going to write in here, do not use commas in EdSite. Okay, you buy a new car for $22,500. It depreciates 25% each succeeding year. Number 20 isn't actually on there, but you do have to write the model in order to find the value of the car after 3 years. So We're starting with 22,500. The decay model is 1 minus the rate raised to the t. We want that to be 3 years, so we plug that in. Three years. Again, in EdSite, it will have just a box for you to type the number in. The $ will already be there for you. So you would type in 9492, and this would round up to 19 cents. You deposit $2,000 in an account that pays 4% annual interest compounded continuously. When you see the word continuously, that means E. 0.04 times 5 years. So make sure you know how to find E on your calculator so that you can type this into your calculator. Parentheses around that exponent are helpful. And again, in EdSite, there will be a $ and then a box for you to fill in. So 2442 and 81 cents. And number 23 is actually going to be a multiple choice question. She starts with 120 cattle. Her cattle population has increased by 6% each year. That's simple growth. And we want to know what's the population after 10 years. Oops. 120, 1 plus 0.06, raised to the 10. And because this one's multiple choice, you'll be able to look at your decimal and decide which answer is correct. I would round this one up to approximately 215 cattle. But again, there'll be a field where you type the number in, the label is already taken care of for you. So great news about this test, you won't lose points because of the label. The labels are already there for you. Okay, be looking in EdSite for that sample review. It's not going to have very many questions. It's just a chance for you to practice. Like I might even for some of these problems say, practice typing in $9,492.19, just so that you can practice how that's going to look on your test.